Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back for another Sister Wives Season 18 review. We're going to jump around a little bit, but we know that the main things that we're going to be talking about is Christine, then Meri, then Janelle. So, Christine is having a 50s theme party where most of her kids, Janelle's kids, and Janelle's sister is coming. We hear about how Christine has been looking for a life partner and she's been dating. They talk about these twins that Mykelti is expecting again. And this is where we find out that Mykelti told Robin and Kody first about having the twins. I really got an attitude when I heard that. She said it's because she needed help, and I was like, help with what? Why wouldn't you talk to your mother first? According to her, she claimed that she went to Robin first because Robin apparently is the only person on earth that had morning sickness with her pregnancy, and she needed some advice. You could have got advice without having to tell her that you were having twins. But this is just yet another reason why a lot of times with Mykelti, I'm side-eyeing her because Mykelti is sneaky. Every time I try to give her the benefit of the doubt and feel like, okay, maybe she's not as bad as I sometimes feel like she is, she does something to remind me about why she gets on my nerves. And this is just a prime example. Robin then lets us know that she feels honored that Mykelti told her, that she's glad, that she feels like she's a safe space, and that she's excited about more grandbabies. I don't understand what a safe space had to do with anything, but Robin has a way of inserting little things in there that sometimes come across as digs to me. Christine says that at this point she understands that Mykelti has an awesome relationship with Robin, and the way she feels personally does not affect that relationship, that the bird is always going to be in her life and she's always going to be someone that Mykelti tells things to. I do not know how Christine manages to do this. I wouldn't be able to be like Christine, especially not towards someone who deliberately hurt me. That would be hard for me to see my child so open, so vulnerable, so clingy with a person that continues to try to manipulate and harm me, because that's what Robin did. Janelle arrives with Savannah, Gabe. We see Hunter, and she is extra happy. Like, she is over the moon. Christine is about her family. She sees her mom there. She's really excited. They do flashbacks of her saying that she wonders how things would be if they had moved back to Utah when they wanted to. She kind of wonders if her leaving would have been prolonged. And Kody says that it wouldn't have made a difference wherever they moved, that what happened to the family still would have happened. Kody, you can't speak on that because you don't leave your wives. You encourage your wives to leave you. Kody says that regardless of where they live, that it would have happened to the family. But Kody is the reason why something happened to the family in the first place. Robin feels like if they did not move to Flagstaff, then they might have been okay. It's Robin's fault they moved to Flagstaff. I don't care how they try to flip it. Dayton was going to college there, so that was one of the places that they wanted to go. Janelle says that she doesn't think anything would have been different, that during the pandemic, Kody's preference for Robin was made more apparent. It's true. If you're making excuses to not see your other wives and children and to spend majority of your time in another wife's house and to wake up early so that you can take the other kids to school after you've come over there late, you showed your hand. That's what Kody did. Mykelti then at Christine's party announces that she's pregnant with twins, and Janelle cries. They go inside and they talk about how great the party is. They then show Bird sitting on her perch saying how Kody, her, and the kids weren't invited to the party, and that it's really hard for her and the kids when they find out that the family is doing things without them. I don't understand why it's so hard, because Robin and Kody do things without the family all the time. They're the ones who exclude the family. They're the ones who say that Meri couldn't invite the children over to the house because they hadn't fixed things. They're the ones that didn't want to be a part of the Christmas exchange because they hadn't fixed things. They're the ones that weren't willing to come to Airbnb, which would have been territory where it could be, even playing field, and they didn't want to come to that. They're the ones who also didn't want to come to Garrison's house because Kody has his own house. So the rat saying that they don't want to include them when she's really the one that doesn't like to be included because it allows her to be the victim. I don't understand what she's talking about. Overall, the party was great. Janelle, Christine, and her kids will always be family. Let's get to Meri. Meri is currently working in Utah. She's working on the renovation for the carriage house. We know that the carriage house is full of a whole bunch of junk because Meri has trouble letting go of things. Jen is Meri's best friend forever, and she's helped her out a lot. So Blair, which is a man that she met online who happens to be married to a man, is also like an interior designer. Excuse me. So she has decided to allow him to come to her place to help decorate. She said that she met him several years ago, and one of the things that she required for him because of being catfished previously is that she do a video chat with him. Meri still, even though they do a flashback, is not being completely honest about the catfish. So the fact that she's still bringing this up all these years later is annoying. Blair, no, not Blair. The bird knows. Sorry, y'all. I was like, what did I write? The bird has known Jen since Vegas, and she wishes her and Meri could be more like them. But Robin, aka Little Birdie, aka the rat, aka the witch, says that her and Meri now have a different dynamic because most of their time is spent consoling each other because of the trauma that they've been through. You heard me right. She really said the trauma that they've been through. Little birdie, what trauma have you been through? What trauma has she really been through? Because she said it with the kids, and now here she is saying it again in confessional. One thing about it, Robin sticks to her script. I give her that. The bird says that she isn't jealous. She just wants a better relationship and more from Meri too. She wants more, but she can't pick up the mother. Beep, 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 beep. She can't pick up the phone to call her. Y'all forgive me. It's late, and I get silly when it's late. What the bleep, 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 bleep? How could she say that with a straight face? How could she sit there with a straight face and say that she wants more from Meri too when you were living with Meri in a time where the world stood still because of a pandemic and you didn't make time to see her? I'm not trying to hear that stuff. As we see Jen arrive, she's really invested. I'm sitting here like, okay, does Meri do anything on her own? Because it seems like she now relies on Jen a lot, and I want her to be more independent. She's independent to a certain extent, but she still wants other people's opinions when it comes to this business. She says that none of the family knows that she's planning on making these adjustments to the carriage house except for her child and Jen. Excuse me, this Meri segment with this daggone carriage house is really boring to me. We get it. She's building something. She's controlling. Next. Kody also agrees that Meri is a control freak. Meri says that at this point, she doesn't have to worry about what Kody thinks because this is all on her. It's her project. She says her being controlling is a way of protecting herself. She talks about how the last few months since being told by Kody that she's not wanted, that she continues to go back and forth on her feelings about it. Meri is dumb. I'm sorry. I can't keep on trying to show Meri grace when Meri keeps saying things like that. Leave. Even if you don't pursue another relationship, leave. I don't know how all that works. You'll still be spiritually connected to him until you get released, or whatever the terminology is. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but leave. 2 trees have to be moved from in front of Meri's house, and it makes her sad. Meri doesn't have anything better to talk about other than this carriage house and these trees, but I then realized later on that she was correlating the removal of the trees to the removal of Kody. She talks again about the anniversary and lets us know that little birdie threw Kody under the bus because she mentioned the fact that he said that he would have to ask Robin if it's okay because he was supposed to be watching the children. And Robin said she didn't know what he was talking about. She's like, he's dumb. So his loyal wife forgot to protect him in that moment. We hear about how Kody used to be charming and sweet to Meri, and that was one of the allures, and that's one of the things that the other wives found to be attractive about him, and one of the reasons why they also wanted to pursue him. But now he does not want to be a part of her life. Meri lets us know that she's proud of who she is now, but she's still holding on to the family. She still doesn't know if she wants to be out in Flagstaff and see the family as just a family member, or if she wants to try to stay and try to work things out with Kody, despite Kody letting her know on multiple occasions in many different ways he has no desire to ever be with her again. She says, screw him. He's not worth it. But then in the same breath, she doesn't know what she's going to do. She said she had a lot of reluctance about the trees, and she was really sad about the trees being removed from the front of her home. But once they were removed and she saw it, it really wasn't as bad as she thought it was going to be. And this is where I thought she was trying to relate the trees to what is going on with her and Kody. We then get to Janelle. Janelle let us know that if Kody was really dying to be back with her, that he would call a counselor and he would actively be pursuing a way to get back with her. Kody lets us know that at this point, neither of them are interested in reconciliation, but he's still trying to talk about it, which further supports the only reason why he wants to really reconcile with her is because Robin wants to have sister wives, and because I still think he wants her money. He doesn't know if she's happy. Kody comes over to look at the new place. Janelle let us know that Kody is making more of an effort with Savannah and that he's been coming to take her out every couple of weeks. Janelle says that her space is nice, her new place is nice, and one of the reasons why it's so nice is because Kody hasn't been in it. I like when Janelle is like this. His relationship with Savannah is sweet, according to Janelle. And Kody, because Kody says it too. Matter of fact, let's just stick to Kody's part. Kody says that his relationship with Savannah is sweet, but he's hoping that in time he'll be able to get over stuff with Gabe and Garrison. I noticed that he doesn't mention any of his other sons. We know that Logan pulled himself apart from the family as soon as he got to college, but I noticed that he doesn't speak on Hunter. So I wonder if him and Hunter are close. Janelle asked him if he could hang up some pictures. For some reason, even though you don't really like him and you don't want to deal with him, Janelle, you want him to hang up pictures in your place. I would call somebody if I have to. My pride wouldn't let me tell him to please hang up pictures in my house. I wouldn't even want that energy in my home. He said he wanted to know. Half part of him wanted to ask her if this was a test, because that's the type of stuff that wives like to do. They like to pick and say, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. And that's a part of the problem with polygamy. It's so insane to me, the way he thinks. As he's walking through the apartment, he really likes it. He keeps talking about how much bigger it is than the other one, how much nicer it is. And then he's saying, like, I don't know why she's showing me all of this because I don't live here. It's obvious that I'm not a part of this. Then he says, I don't even know why she switched apartments in the first place. If she told him, I don't even remember. I forgot. So you want us to think that you want to reconcile, but you can't do something as simple as listen to the supposed woman that you want to be with when she speaks. But this goes back to Janelle telling us several episodes ago, I think it was in season 17, might have been sooner than that there's times when she's had talks with Kody about certain things, and then when they talk about it again, he doesn't recall what the conversation they had. So it's obvious that there's multiple times where he tunes her out. They start talking about the house, and Kody asks her, like, how big is this apartment? And she says it's 1,500 square feet. And he's like, but the house that you want to build on Coyote Pass is 1,200 square feet. He's like, I don't know if we should go with that design. I don't think that I would want a casita over a house. He keeps saying we when he's talking about this home, but Janelle points out in her confessional, like, look, I don't understand why he keeps saying we, because he's not going to be putting up any money for my home. It's going to be all on me. He said it doesn't make sense for her to build this little itty bitty house on 2 acres. That's the point that he's trying to make. Like, why would you want to buy that little house when you could have this apartment and you could actually build the big house that you want? But this goes back to Kody not listening to Janelle, because Janelle has no desire to have a big home. Janelle just wants to have a home. Janelle has never been the flashy person. Even when they built their houses in Vegas, Janelle was the one who kept saying, like, she wanted to go smaller, that she didn't want it to be that large. So why would he think that all of a sudden now she would want this big extravagant house? That's not that wife. That's you and your fourth wife that likes to live like that. And maybe even Meri to a certain extent, because Meri likes the finer things. But it's not Janelle. So Kody needs to do us all a favor and shut up and learn to listen. Janelle points out that they need to pay off the land at Coyote Pass by this year. And I can't remember who said it, but a few of you said it in last week's episode in the comments that you very much so believe that part of the reason why Janelle wants to stay on that land is because she's invested so much in it. And she very much so verified that in this episode. She said that she plans to build there because at this point, that is her estate. She doesn't have anything else. She put a significant amount of money into that property, and that's all she has to show for herself. She says she doesn't have a problem building a house on that land and being on the same land as them, because she doesn't even know if they're ever going to build out there. But she is willing to build out there and build a huge fence so that she doesn't have to interact with them. She talks about how one of the things that she wants to do is that she wants to go to her storage unit and take out the stuff that's in there and see how it fits into her new apartment, because her apartment is bigger than her future home. So the pieces that can't fit and the things that she doesn't need, she wants to get rid of. You might as well. They're paying a lot of money for a lot of different things. And the fact that, like, you have Meri paying thousands of dollars for rent in Flagstaff plus a mortgage, and then you got Janelle who has her RV and then has this apartment and then wants to build. She needs it. Janelle needs to be out there. She needs to have something to show for herself. It's so awkward as they're talking, to the point where Kody talks about how the counter is different than the island, and Janelle says she didn't realize it. And then Savannah talks about how deep this sink is compared to the other sink, and Kody's saying, like, he doesn't even understand why Savannah's telling him about the sink, because it's not like he's going to wash any dishes in that sink, because he's not going to be at that apartment. Kody says one of the reasons why it's so awkward to speak to them is because he has a whole life outside of Savannah and Janelle. But when he's with them, he doesn't talk about his other life. So the only other thing that Kody has to talk about is the little bird and her kids. Damn. Poor Kody. Once again, he can't talk about his little Bernie. He can't talk about his little Bernie that's sitting on her little birch. I don't know where that voice came from. He can't talk about the bird. He cannot talk about the bird, and he's upset that he cannot talk about the bird while he is over there with his other family because he wants to talk about the bird every chance he can get because he is so in love with the bird. And when he is around Janelle, Janelle don't want to hear about the bird. So the bird is what consumes most of his life. He has nothing else to talk about because I guess at this point he doesn't even have a job. Hearing all of this, Janelle lets us know that she thinks this went well. Kody asks why can't they reconcile? He said, I've called Janelle before and I asked her, why can't, we reconcile? Then he tried to make it seem like her not wanting to have a relationship with Robin and Meri has something to do with it. And he said it's sad to him because that's not the deal that they made for a plural marriage. Like he has room to say anything about the promises he made for his plural marriages. Let me tell you something. That deal that he's talking about with the ladies happened to be when the ladies were broke, young, dumb, and naive. It was before the cameras and before life experience, and it was with someone who tolerated them rather than loved them. It's been over 20 years at this point for some of them, 30 if you include Meri for some of those deals, and Kody still operates like a spoiled child. The day that the bird swooped in was the day that the deal was broken. This is the same guy that stopped being a husband to his wives years ago. Janelle said, why would she want to work on anything with Robin and Meri if she's not even with Kody? And Meri's not even with Kody. She says, at this point, he's not with Meri. So if they were to reconcile, it wouldn't even be a thing where she would need to be worried about Meri. What the problem would be is where things would go with Robin, because for some reason he feels like he needs to protect Robin against the bad sister wives. Well, now that Christine's left would just be her. So everyone, with the exception of the bird, is a bad sister wife. Got it. Janelle said, the reality is he never came to her and said, hey, I love you and I miss you and I want to get back together. Instead of that, what he wants is he just wants the family back together so things can move smoothly. So in other words, Kody never came to her and was like, I miss you and I want you and I want this to work. But rather than that, he comes to her as if, okay, if I get Janelle back, then maybe I can get my kids back. And maybe I can get some money back. I don't want to lose that. Maybe I'll be able to make it into the celestial kingdom that I don't believe about. Because at this point, I don't think that he believes in polygamy anymore. I think Robin does, and I feel like he feels like he has to keep putting on this facade that he does because Robin has made it very clear that she wants to be a sister wife but live in a monogamous fashion. Rather than Kody adjusting what he's doing, he's going to continue to walk in that hamster wheel, and then he's going to ask her next week again if they can reconcile. So he changes absolutely nothing about his behavior or his mindset. Instead, he just continues to do the same thing over and over again when Janelle has made it abundantly clear on multiple occasions that she would like for him to go to counseling with her. And he has not done anything to take those steps. Instead, he's just going to keep saying that he thinks they should reconcile. Kody says it's painful every time that he asks her and she says no. Maybe he should get more serious about it. If it was something that he really wanted, he would have gotten more serious about it. Maybe Kody needs to stop blowing smoke up her ass and in our faces and thinking that we don't see what's really going on, because at this point he's approaching marriage with Janelle like it's a to-do list. He doesn't want to be with anybody but the bird, and he views Janelle being with him as a way to get back some of his dignity. But I honestly believe that it is too late. You guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If there is anything that I didn't cover that you want to talk about, go ahead and put it in the comment section. I try to make sure that I respond to you all. We are on the road to 400 subscribers. I am currently at 390. I would love it if you have not subscribed yet. Go ahead and click that button. I have other content, but Sister Wives seems to get the most traction. So as long as you all keep watching, I'll continue to be here. Until next time.